Okay, so I have been working on perfecting a wrapping technique that prevents the ghosting that people see at the I say ghosting, it's not really ghosting, it's the white marks that you get when your paper's not flushed around the top and the bottom of a tumbler. I've tried just about every technique I've seen. I've combined them. I've spent a lot of time trying to get this perfected, and I think I finally have it. So I'm going to display it display it. Excuse me. I'm going to display it on these sippy cups. So that's what I'm going to do. And just kind of show you guys how I have learned to do this. And I've got some that are in the oven right now. Oh, some of these are just not long enough. Okay, and that one's not really tall enough, but that's okay. So, that's all right. This is going to have a little bit of white down here at the bottom. And then, of course, you've got this seam. So I'm going to show you at the top and bottom how to keep this from being an issue when it's over your substrate. These other ones I've got about 54 seconds that I just did, so I'm going to stop saying that. I am going to keep wrapping this one, and we'll just let those set in the oven for a few minutes when they do get done. Okay, so on this one, you know, if it's tight here, it's loose here because of this dip down. So you want to make sure when you tighten it that you're tightening it down here so that you can tape it before that crease. You want your piece of tape here to be before that crease that happens at the bottom. So, there it is. Okay. This was probably a really bad place to rest my camera. I always try to make sure that I push these down, because if you don't, if you're using an air fryer like I am, or the air fryer setting on a convection oven, that these will get hot and then they'll flap around, and when that happens it can sometimes loosen your tape that you put along your seam, which allows air to get in, which causes ghosting at your seam. So, got that. So at the top, you're just gonna do your little wrap, or pull your tape around really tight. And if you look, this is completely smooth. There is no wrinkles in that. So this is essential. If you have any bumps in your paper whenever you wrap like this, then you want to work those out. I don't have any, so I can't show you this time, but let's say that there's a crease right here in the paper under this tape. I always run my fingernail up like so, push it out, and then I take a piece of tape and push it out and wrap that tape to kind of hold that down to prevent it from doing what it does. Now down here, obviously, if I were to wrap this right now, it's just going to fold up because it's thinner at this bottom piece. So what we're going to do to prevent that from bunching up, oops, now you're looking at my ceiling. I knew this was a bad spot to put my camera. Okay. So, if it's there, we're going to go right. You're going to try and get this tape to go right just above where that crease happens. So, I'm getting too far ahead of myself here. Just right there. Okay, so if you can see here, you can see the crease here in some spots where I've wrapped it, you know. So we're there on the crease, which is where you want to be. You want to make sure that there's no bumps under there. Now you're going to see bumps like this here, okay? So now we're going to grab another piece of tape, and we are going to start about halfway up on this other tape. So we're going to come about halfway on that tape and do the same thing. We're going to wrap it around. Oop. One second, I've got screaming kids. What are, oh God, I thought that was you guys screaming. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I was not supposed to be on video today because. All right, so now you can see that this is, you know, you can see these bumps, and this is what I'm talking about. These here, you've got to make sure that those are flat and that you don't have, you know, you're pushing these bubbles out when you do this. You want to make sure that you are pushing them out, and when you come back around, that everything under the tape is flat. Okay. And now I'm going to just work this paper like this. Make sure that it's smooth, because all of this is smooth under it now. So now I'm going to take another piece of tape, and I literally just work this tape all the way up, and go about halfway up on the tape, the width of the tape each time. And that kind of allows me to push the creases out a little bit at a time, which allows the paper to lay flat. And like I said, I kind of just push them this way. You know, and there's one that's a little bit thick. Same there. Okay, so I think we've got all of that. Oops, and here we go again. We're just going to keep pointing you at the ceiling or the table. I'm going to pretend like none of that happened and just keep going. Where normally I would just start over, and I'm not going to do that today. I don't have time for that. So, okay, now we're going to pull this and pull it tight. Tight, tight, tight as we go around, and there. Now, rub your hands around it. Make sure that it's smooth. Anywhere you think you see a bump, push it out. That should feel really smooth all the way around, because we've literally worked this paper back and forth, so it is snug. And now I'm going to take my strip. I'm going to throw you on your face again. Okay. And this piece of tape is way too long, but I'm going to use it because it's already here. So I'm going to push this down. I put a lot of force when I do this. My hands cramp up a lot. So that is absolutely normal. If your hands are not cramping up when you're trying to wrap things tight and you're having issues, it is probably because it's not being wrapped tight enough. Anyway, this one here is ready. I'm going to pull the one out that I've already done. The two out that I've already done. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to unwrap this one. It is a different design, but, oh wait, this is the wrong one. We can take that one off here in a minute too, but that's not the one that I needed to show. This is the sippy cup. Okay, so I start down here. I find my little tape and just find the end of it. Kind of go back and forth with the tape, so I'm not always sure which direction it goes. But it's pretty simple. Oh, that's hot. Anyway, so this one here, you can see this. You can look at the bottom here, and there's no bubbles, there's no creases, there's no nothing. It's perfect. And I'm doing that now with my tumblers at the top and the bottom. Let me grab a 20-ounce tumbler that I did yesterday with this technique and show you how that looks. I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I did this for tumbler yesterday just because I was trying to showcase the stainless cups and how well they look. But I see a lot of times people will say, don't try and sub on the curve because that's why you're getting that. And the reality is you're just not getting your image tight there. So as you can see here, if this is set on a flat surface, you know, this is on the bevel. This color is down here on the bevel, and there's still no marks. So all the way around with no marks. That is how I have been wrapping and getting no issues whatsoever in my tumblers. I hope this helps somebody, and I will be back with something, I'm certain, very soon. Have a great day and make something wonderful.